you tell us about yourself briefly? You have diverse job titles, including culture critic, professor, journalist, economist, even futurist. So we'd like to hear about yourself directly from you.
I think that I belong to a very French species, which we call the public intellectual. and but basically, I'm a researcher. What I do is research, and my field of research is contemporary society. And it happened that I live in a period which is absolutely fascinating, because we are entering in a new civilization, which we call globalization. It's not a very nice concept, but there's something real about it, you know. So what I do basically is being a researcher, and my field of research is what we call globalization. You know, how people very different, you know, like you and me, coming from completely different civilization, we converge toward a new world. I mean, how do I do it? How do we do it? Where do we go? So this is my field of research. So let's forget all this title. Researchers is okay. I mean, yeah.
How do you feel receiving Korea Image Award, specifically Stepping Stone Award this time? For general readers, would you explain about what you've focused on Korean issues?
I don't know what I get. I don't know why I will receive this award, but I try to understand. First of all, it's very easy to have this award because so few Western intellectuals are working on Korea, so there are very little competition, you know. And it happened that since 25 years, I've shown a strong interest in Korea, and I started doing my research on the Korean economy, you know, and I wanted to understand why the Korean economy was doing so good already 25 years ago, at a time when so many countries around, including in Asia, were a complete disaster. And what I understood very quickly in my research is that you could not understand the Korean economy without understanding the Korean culture. And the real thing was to understand the Korean culture and how the Korean culture, which always lived in isolation, was able to reach out to the rest of the world. You know, how a narrow, small part of the world was able to go global. And to understand that, I had to look at the history and culture of Korea, and this is what I'm doing since 25 years, not only on Korea, but a lot on Korea, and I guess this is why I get my award.
What do you think about the most important cultural assets Korea has in this globalization era?
I would say work ethics. Work ethics, basically. I mean, work ethics is a long Korean tradition. It has to do with the Confucianist origin of the country, of course. But when you look at the competition, because economy is all about competition, you know, you look at the difference. Of course, there are many factors like political system. But within the democratic countries, I mean, the main asset for South Korea is really the work ethics. Because at the end of the day, if you produce a car, a cell phone, anything, everybody more or less, you know, follow the same technique today. There are not two ways to build a car. So a car built in Japan, in France, in Korea, the same technique. But some workers would be more dedicated than others, and those are the winners. And it so happens that today the South Korean workers are the most dedicated, so they have the strongest work ethics. So in terms of competition, this I would say the main asset.